What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will be reacting to the 9 types of NASCAR winners. You guys have requested this video so many times, and I'm finally getting around to it. I think this was requested like months ago, and it keeps like popping up in every video, but I've been like so busy trying to get through all the other requests. But it's fine because I'm now finally about to do it. So I'm looking forward to getting into this video because every video that I've done from this channel has been like really good. So I'm excited. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe. Over half of you that watch my videos still aren't subscribed. Just hit the bell. It takes 2 seconds. And if you'd like to become a member on this channel and receive exclusive perks, you can also do that by hitting the join button down below.
Not only are you battling the laws of physics and your own fear, but you're doing this dance with a 3,000-pound hunk of steel that has the aerodynamic properties of a brick with a 20-something gallon tank of highly flammable.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I know how like people play down NASCAR, like especially people who don't watch it. They do, oh, it's just turning left. It's going around in circles. I feel like people say that, a lot of British people say that. I'm not one of those people. I think it's crazy. Like when you actually think about all those things that they do, the strength, the speed, how, like you said, you're able to do that for hours. Fair play to all those people that do it, because I know I couldn't do it.
Lawful good. These are guys who follow the rules, respect their competitors, and are generally well liked by fans due to their honorable nature. These are guys like Benny Parsons, Chase Elliott, and his old man Bill Elliott. Guys like this work hard, race hard, and
I was going to say, if I can think of one person to put in there, it would be Chase Elliott. Golden boy.
And likely would have won more if he hadn't requested that his name be removed from the ballot in 2002 just so other drivers could have a chance.
Cool. That's incredible.
And that is none other than my favorite race car driver of all time, Mark Martin.
Ooh,
Mark Martin
okay.
won nearly 100 races in NASCAR's top 3 divisions. He was also one of the first guys to utilize a strenuous...
Mark was over 50. He looked like that. Wow, fair play.
This fair give-and-take style helped Mark to win a lot of races, but Mark Martin also finished second. Disturbingly often. He won 4.
Disturbingly often.
Mark Martin had the misfortune of being one of the greatest drivers of all time while he was competing against the greatest drivers of all time. In NASCAR, nice guys don't finish last, but they do finish second. A lot. Well, that was sad. So
Yeah, that was. How can it be that, like, the good, nice box? Sad.
I mean, Jimmy Spencer's nickname was Mr. Excitement. And he lived up to it, too.
Mr. Excitement. Love that.
Electronic timing and scoring came on board in 1994. That record would stand until Ricky Craven would obliterate it in
Oh yeah, I've seen this clip.
epitome of beaten and...
Damn.
But I don't think anyone epitomizes chaotic good better than Jamie McMurray.
Who? Some of these people I don't know.
He started off by winning the Daytona 500,
He won the Daytona 500.
the second biggest race, the Brickyard 400. He chalked up one more victory before the year was out, and just a few more before his career was up, including a win at the 2014 All-Star race where he flat out beat Carl Edwards in a late race shootout,
Wow.
and what has got to be one of the last great All-Star.
That does sum up chaotic good.
Let's check out the other side of the board for a bit. How about chaotic good's edgier brother, chaotic evil?
Oh, straight to the bottom. Okay.
Heads with all manner of drivers
I
for
love that
various
clip.
reasons. In the early 90s, Rusty Wallace had pissed off plenty of people with his antics, and all 3 drivers were one-off champions who had a tendency to be as inconsistent as they were brutish. But I don't think anybody can compare to the embodiment of chaotic evil in NASCAR that is the man in black, the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Okay, I just got chills. I was wondering where he was going to put Dale. Okay. I don't even need an explanation for that. Like, fair.
Out of the way, or just flat out wrecking them.
Chaotic evil in the best way possible.
If he managed to catch you and fill up your rearview mirror, he was just as likely to make a legitimate pass as he was to just punt you out of the way. In 1993, in the Coca-Cola 600, he found himself way behind the leader after a pit penalty. He needed
no.
caution to get back into contention, so he just created one and spun out
So he created a caution. I love that.
and put him one lap down. Dale Sr.,
no.
out of sheer spite and tenacity, ended up overcoming this under green and went on to win the race anyway.
That's incredible. He was like, screw you, I'm winning this race.
NASCAR fans were understandably quite split on Big E. I remember vividly sitting in the stands as a kid at the All-Star races in the 90s, and during driver intros, people would boo him mercilessly, more than any other driver. At Charlotte Motor Speedway, no less. Just a short drive down the highway from his hometown of Kannapolis. His hometown crowd booed him.
I got chills. Wow, your hometown booing you. That's, wow. Okay.
When they do you wrong, chances are even they themselves couldn't explain why they did it, because chaos just doesn't give a shit. Yeah. Chaos is a bit of a head scratcher to be sure. But you know what's simple and easy enough to wrap your head around? Evil. All drivers want to win.
Just evil?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't winning. Everyone does it, and even your favorite driver isn't immune from it, although they probably drove a questionably legal car unwittingly. We could talk about Flexgate from the previous season, where rear window bracing would give way at high speeds to redirect more air towards the spoiler, or Spingate, where Clint Boyer spun himself out on purpose to give his teammate Martin Truex a better shot at getting into the chase. In both
yeah, that was crazy. I knew about the top one, but not the bottom one.
Then Junior Johnson. It's often joked that Junior Johnson essentially wrote...
Okay. I've heard of him, but don't know much about him.
Drafting, he discovered that. The Twisted Sister concept, he invented that. Constant wind tunnel testing for every single new car built, he started doing that first. He didn't like the way his jackman...
No way.
So he became the jackman himself, and invented the jack swing, which had the added benefit of taking out NASCAR officials trying to count lug nuts. NASCAR didn't like that, declared him an illegal jackman, and made the jack swing illegal, and instituted rules for who could and couldn't go over the wall for a pit stop, thus giving rise to designated pit crew members and essentially inventing the choreographed pit stop as we know it. He shaved down pistons by fractions of a millimeter just so they'd fire off a little bit faster. He brought in F1 engineers to glean off...
What? The list just keeps going.
Most speculated that Waltrip had clutched the engine and over-revved it on purpose so it would blow. That way...
I was gonna say, what happened?
After all, it's hard to inspect an engine when it's in a million tiny pieces littered across the track. Some even posited the opinion that Junior had put a remote explosive in the engine. A far-fetched theory to be sure, but the fact that it is testament to Junior Johnson's conniving nature and his mile-long...
Yeah, I was gonna say, the fact that someone even would, use that as a theory clearly shows... the way he used to bend the rules all the time.
Darrell Waltrip. Darrell was a fast-talking, charismatic guy from Owensboro, Kentucky, who quickly became a fan favorite.
And gonna put him in neutral evil, okay.
Of most drivers, Darrell quickly embraced the new form of media entering the sport. Had he been starting his career out today, he would no doubt have hundreds of thousands of followers on every single imaginable form of social media. He was so good there, they even named a section of grandstands after him. In true neutral evil fashion.
Really? Wow, okay.
Joey Logano. Has Joey done some very sketchy things?
I was going to say, we're going to put Logano in this box. I knew he was going to be on this table somewhere, but I wouldn't say that he's evil. It makes sense that he's put him in this box, actually, now that I'm deeping it.
Joey needs a win to punch his ticket into the next round, and on the last lap, he has just one man to beat, the defending champion, Martin Truex Jr. He gives him the old bump and run out of turn 4 and wins the race. Truex wasn't too happy about...
Wow, they were wobbling as they passed the finish line. That's incredible.
And you can hardly blame him for abiding by the rules and doing exactly what they encourage him to do. That's just lawful neutral for you. There's only a few spaces...
Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I wouldn't say he's evil. I wouldn't put him in, the good row either, so it makes sense that he's put him in neutral.
But for true neutrality, one man stands alone at the top of the pile. One man currently embodies the spirit of the true neutral better than anyone piloting a race car.
Who?
That man is Paul Menard.
Who?
He doesn't win by making daring moves at the last second or by showboating. He usually just quietly pulls away and comes out with the W.
He's like an introvert racing in NASCAR.
But the absolute king of neutral good drivers is, well, obviously, the king himself, Richard Petty. King Richard, first of his name, is the winner.
Look at that smile. How cute.
They were so far ahead of third place that whoever could fire up their engine first and limp across the line would be declared the winner. Pearson was able to get his Mercury to roll over first and staggered across the line for his first and only Daytona 500 crown.
Oh, what a way to get your Daytona win.
They were pretty much made for each other. Late in life, Richard Petty and David Pearson would be interviewed and asked who they thought the best driver of all time was. Richard Petty, without hesitation, pointed towards David Pearson. Pearson just smiled and said, "I agree with Richard."
Oh, love that. Platonic soulmates there.
It is entirely possible to win a NASCAR race by sheer goddamned accident. It's happened before and it'll happen again. So let's
cut to George Russell winning in Austria because Lando and Max took each other out. Final lap for George. How this race has turned. George won the race. What is going on? Sometimes chaos just happens.
What made this decision to run it out all the way until almost midnight even more baffling was the fact that Jeff Gordon had locked up the championship in the previous race. There was literally no need to see this one out other than, I guess, NASCAR just...
I was going to say, if it's a championship race, but then he said that he's already locked in the championship, so why wait 7 hours?
What would have been Richard Petty's first win at Lakewood Speedway in 1959. He's driving a 1957 Oldsmobile his dad has lent him, and he's running solidly up front all day.
Whoa, the car literally flew up on the bump there.
And as Richard Petty makes his way to Victory Circle, officials have a protest of the running order. Someone else claims they've won this race. The protester? Lee Petty, his own father.
Oh, okay, bit of a family rivalry going on here.
That's right, Lee Petty protested his son's first win, and he got the running order changed so that he won and Richard was placed in second.
Huh?
Now, to be fair, Richard says that he never actually thought he won that race, and was just going to roll with it just to see what would happen. Also, this was his dad's primary source of income, and he needs to put food on the table.
Okay, fair. If you didn't think you won, then fair, but if you were certain that you won, and then your dad takes it away from you, drama!
Rain's on the way according to the radar, so guys are stretching out their fuel runs as long as they can, in hopes that they'll just get lucky and be out front when the rain hits. But suddenly, something unexpected comes up. A fog bank.
Whoa!
Fog rolls into turn 2, and pretty soon...
So much fog.
And since we're past the halfway point, NASCAR calls it. Chris Buescher becomes the first and so far only driver to my knowledge to win a race due to lack of visibility by way of fog. The elder Buescher, though, his lone Xfinity Series win is even more ridiculous.
Really?
So where's James Buescher in all of this? Well, he's not even in the frame. Let's back up a bit. That's him back there in 11th on the final turn of the final lap.
What?
Does that mean, yep, the top 10 completely wreck out?
You're kidding.
Weaves his way through the carnage, narrowly misses getting bodied.
Whoa! So close.
Series, presumably while screaming during the entire ordeal and probably having an accident in his fire suit.
I was going to say, as you're driving through that, you must be screaming. I would be.
9 types of NASCAR winners. Where does your favorite driver fit into this whole crazy, stupid thing? Sound off?
I have no idea. That was insane. He was naming I mean, I knew most of those drivers. A couple of the ones from years and years and years ago, obviously didn't know. But yeah, and he said at the end, where would you put your favourite drivers? But my favourite drivers are Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain. And I don't know, I was sitting there trying to think, but I was like, I've only been watching NASCAR since the beginning of this season. So I wouldn't really know where to put them because I'd just be basing it off of what I've seen this season. And then obviously a couple things that I've seen in videos that I've reacted to. Let me know in the comments where you think you'd put Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain because I'd like to actually know where you guys would put them. And if you have any other drivers that he mentioned there that he didn't mention there that you think you could put in the box, do drop them in the comments. I'm interested to see what everybody thinks. But that was a really good video. I'm glad I finally got around to it. So with that being said, if you have any other videos that you'd like me to react to, drop them in the comments. I'm working my way through everybody's suggestions at the moment. If you did want to check out any of my other socials or become a Patreon member and get early access to videos like this, then you can do all of that down below. And if you want to become a member on this channel and receive exclusive perks, you can also do that by hitting the join button down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's reaction and I will catch you next time for the next one. Bye!